Hello guys, it's the one, the only Mr. Unpredictable Zargon7 bringing you another classic, and today what I want to talk about is DC Universe Online. I see a lot of things that just kind of seems to be a copy and paste as far as this game goes. It has gone on for a very long time, whether it's loadouts or telling people about a power or things like that. So I want to kind of talk about a few things that's on my mind. First and foremost, let's get the elite content, because that's what really annoys me with people as far as this game goes. A lot of people say the same thing. They see a video, they copy and paste it, and say the exact same thing word for word. For example, Obsidian Chill makes a video talking about elite content being too easy. Then suddenly you have everybody and their mama making the same type of video, how the elite content is too easy. Honestly, guys, I don't think that it's a matter of it being easy. I just think that you guys have enough experience to the point that you know what to do already. So in that retrospect, it makes it easy. That this is not just for DC Universe. This is for any game in general. If you've been playing a game long enough, eventually you're going to get experience with it. And eventually you're going to be playing the hardest raid, hardest content, even in a video game at the hardest level. And you're going to be making it look easy because you may know what to do already. You may understand how the game works, and you may understand what attacks or where do you have to be at what particular time to get the mission or the raid in DC's sense done easily. So I think it's because of that. You guys think the content is easy, but you guys make it seem like the content is so easy that a caveman could do it, kind of like that mentality. And I don't think it's that, like, it's that easy to the point where you can get it done like that. When you guys run elite content, what is the first thing you guys ask for? What's your CR? What's your skill points? And some people even go above and beyond to ask you what level are your artifacts and your mods. Some people even go that far to ask what level that's on. I've seen some cases where that's happened. Now for me, elite does nothing for me. It does nothing for me. I don't get no thrill. I don't get no satisfaction. It doesn't make me happy or anything like that, like some of you other guys. Like some of you guys are just fucking obsessed with elite, man. Like every day I'm hearing elite. Then you want to drag me into that shit. I don't even like elite. I'll do it, but it's not, for me, it's not the end all be all. I'm not gonna sit there and act like elite is best in the world. It's tough content, but with enough experience and with everybody knowing what they're doing and with everyone being powerful, you can get it done. Now the thing that makes me laugh with elite content is you'll have people that'll be in elite content for like 2, 3, 4 hours, but it's supposed to be easy. You guys will be like, well, it's supposed to be, this should be like a 30-40 minute run, but instead we've been in here for like 4 hours. If you've been in the raid that long, it's obviously not fucking easy. It's not that fucking easy to the point that you're beating it. I mean, sometimes if one person dies, the whole group can be wiped out because one person died. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes you can just start a raid and you don't even have to be attacking anybody. An ad could just decide to be a dickhead that moment, or the boss, because I've had that happen too. And they could just be like, you know what, I don't feel like attacking the tank today. Let me go attack the DPS, or let me go attack the troll, or let me go attack the healer. And then while we're trying to pick that one person up, the boss will literally, and I mean literally, stand over that person and will completely wipe people out for trying to pick up one person. So you guys make it seem like you guys are running an elite and just bulldozing through it all the time. And if you are, 9 times out of 10, you're running with the same group of people. It's like people run with the same group of people, whether it's in your league or you're running with specific leagues. Because there are times that people will go into DCO content and they'll run raids with certain leagues. Like let's say Select Few wants to run with people in Unique Infinity. Is the first league that came to mind. Let's say that those guys want to run together. Those are kind of like top tier leagues per se. Well, at least Unique Infinity used to back then. But I'm just using that as an example. Like you have those guys who are already powerful going with another powerful league. So of course it's going to be easy because you guys know what to do. You guys got skill points out the ass. You guys have mods out the ass. You guys have artifacts out the ass. So it's going to be easy. You got the mechanic down pat. So what the fuck is there to complain about? You know what you're doing. So because you know what you're doing, it's going to be easy. Or it's going to look easy. Not be easy necessarily, but it's going to look easy. So I don't get where you guys are coming from as far as that goes. I don't get it. It's like you guys want DCO to, what is it? You want DCUO to do a hot fix each and every week to change the mechanic. That way you guys can feel more of a challenge or a Pokemon challenge. And then you guys say, oh, I want survival mode to come back and things like that. And then on top of saying you want survival mode to come back, you guys will say, well, it'll be too easy because of the Eye of the Gemini. Everybody's popping supercharges and things like that. You motherfuckers act like we've never done shit like that in the past. That's the part that cracks me up. I think which is one of the reasons why DCUO took dueling out of raids. Let's say, for example, we're struggling on Prime or we're struggling on Gates or whatever content may be at the time before they took dueling out. People used to duel each other. They would take the weapon off, even gear to an extent, sit there and duel until they built their superchargers, and then you went through that way. You'll be like, okay, it's no different than running TTB. Let's say you run a TTB Elite. It's no different than that. Where you go to, what is it, the first boss, or is it the, okay, you got the Aquaman part, and I think it's first boss with the tentacles. The troll pops the shield, the healer pops the shield, the other healer pops the shield, and you block. Like, stuff like that. Like, we've been doing mechanics like that for a long, long time. So, I don't know why you guys are complaining about it. Like, we find creative, innovative ways to beat content. Think of it when the raid first came out. Like, what do you want content to be to where we have to run 3 controllers in it? Like with the raid with Sinestro, I cannot remember the raid for the life of me, and I don't know why. Like, you wanted content like that where we got to run like 3 trolls or maybe 1 DPS and 5 tanks or some shit like that. Like, is that the creativeness you want DCUO to come out with? Like, because you guys never specify it. You guys just say, oh, we want a different mechanic, and then when you get a different mechanic, you bitch, moan, and complain about it. For example, this is a perfect example. Let's take SS, the second boss, with the whole you got to build the pipeline mechanic. A lot of people don't like going in that room. At first, I couldn't go in the room because for the most part I was mostly trolling, and now I'm kind of healing, so I still kind of can't. But if I'm DPSing, I'll be like, fuck it, I'll go in there, because eventually I got tired of people saying they don't want to do it. So I say, fuck it, let me go in there and let me figure it out. Eventually I figured out how to build it. So now when I run SS for GQ or whatever reason, I'm willing to do it because I learned the mechanics. Like even the part with Sinestro, with that raid, with the whole the open and closing gates, with the four corners feet. We learned how to work that mechanic, how to work that door. There's no real specific way to tell the door. We just sat there and did it, and we got through it. So, like, when you guys say you want certain mechanics, you guys have to specify exactly what the fuck do you want. You guys just say, oh, we need new this and new that, and then you get it and you complain. The same thing with what was it? Oh, the stats revamp. I was completely against the stats revamp. I say certain powers are gonna fucking suck if you do that. People are gonna complain about it. People are gonna bitch, moan, and whine about it. And everybody was like, no, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be skill points mattering again. I said, no, it's not. That's bullshit. And what happened? The stats revamp came out. People didn't like it, and people immediately quit the game. So it's like, DC's kind of left you at an ultimatum. It's either you're gonna continue to play the game or you're not. It is what it is. I mean, that's just how I gotta say it. DCUO is leaving you the ultimatum. Some of you guys complain about there's not a lot of content, a lot of things to do. Most of you guys that say that, it's either A, you're only running one character for the most part. So when you run certain things, whether it be seasonal and stuff like that, there's not much to do because you only got one character. So when you're done with that one character, you're pretty much done for today. So you're just sitting there, maybe sitting in a watchtower or whatever. There are people like me who have a multitude of characters. I think I got like 22, 23 in total. Now there are characters I run for different reasons, but for the most part, I'm running like maybe 4 or 5 tunes a day. If you are running 4 or 5 tunes a day, eventually you're gonna get burnt out. There's been plenty of times I've been burnt out of DCUO because I'm running content consistently with all my characters, trying to keep them up to a certain CR and a certain stature. And it's like, I think DCUO now has gotten to the point that they don't even want you to have like multiple characters. Like, they getting to the point to where they're saying, well, fuck, you're only going to be able to run one character, and that's really it. And people say, oh, well, the seasonals need to change and things like that. No, the seasonals need to stay exactly the same. Why? Because DC is already a chore enough, okay? If I can finish the if I can finish the seasonal as quickly as possible on all of my tunes, I would do that. There are times where I've run content on all of my tunes, all 20 something of my tunes in like one day. Do you know how tiring that is? Like, there are times I don't even want to play DC Universe. There are times I want to play other games or whatever. I may want to catch up on another game, or I just want to play another game with some friends. Cause like, yo, man, you want to run such and such with me? And I'm like, yeah, man, but first let me do my dailies on DC Universe. And then it's like, by the time you're done with the dailies on DC Universe, it's like half of your day is gone. So by the time you even get up with your friends to play something else, like, it's like the fucking day is damn near over with, or they done got the fuck off. And it's like, it's like, what's the point, man? So I get where you guys are coming from if you running one character, but when you're running multiple characters, it just kind of becomes overkill. You get burnt out easily. I've been burnt out plenty of times. There's been times I'm like, yo, I need to take a 3-month break, a month break, a week break, whatever the case may be, just because I'm just so tired of being on DC so much. I like the game, but fuck, it's burning me out. And I don't like when DCO makes things to be a chore. Like, I like when DCO spaces things out, because it gives me time to have fun with my gear, to mess with my gear, or even to get on another character, play with another character and things like that. I don't mind that. It honestly doesn't bother me when it comes to that. But when you have people with one character and they do things one time and they're done, they're bitching, moaning, and complaining. So I think that was one of the reasons why replays were made. And that's another thing with DCUO. Guys will run a raid non-stop. The new raid, whether it's regular or elite, they'll replay it like non-stop. And then complain because they have nothing to do. Well, it's like, well, of course you have nothing to fucking do because you replayed the goddamn raid so damn much. It's ridiculous. Of course you're not going to have nothing to do. You done ran everything in like 2 or 3 days. You done damn near burnt yourself out. And then you're complaining because you have nothing to do. Because you're max CR, you have all the feats or whatever. So you're just like, man, I'm going to go play something else because I'm bored. Like, sometimes you got to learn to pace yourself. I mean, if you want to be all that you can be, just so you could be the top DPS or you could be the best healer or the best troll, I get it. I respect your hustle and I respect your game, but at the same time, you can't get mad because DCUO is not moving fast enough. I mean, that's just honestly how I feel. I mean, it shouldn't, you know, be a point where DCUO damn near has to make content every month. Because remember when DCUO made content like every month for a good while? That shit was like one of the worst times to be on DC Universe. I'm sorry, for me personally, it was one of the worst times because it was like I could never take a fucking break from the game because it was just like, it's like if you missed the day of DCUO, it was just like you were way behind. Unless you sat there and replayed it. And me, I don't replay it that much. I may replay maybe once or twice, maybe 3 times the most, but I don't consistently replay the hell out of things. And also with the replays, when you're running content, that is, like I stated earlier, getting experience in the raid so you know what to do already. So stop crying about it being too easy. And you know the thing that makes me laugh? People complain about the Eye of the Gemini artifact because it's too easy. But honestly, the artifacts are not for veteran players or people with a bunch of skill points. The artifacts, honestly, to me, this is just my opinion, it's for the new players. The players that have like 50, maybe 60, maybe 80, maybe 100, 150, maybe possibly 200 skill points. The artifacts are really for those kind of guys. It's the reason why even, let's take PvP for example. I think DCUO lost a lot of its community because its community, DC tried to underplay and tried to play like PvP wasn't as big or a part of the community as much as it was. So I think that's one of the reasons why DCUO lost a lot of its player base. But think of it beforehand. DCUO, when you first started playing, at least when I first started playing, when I went into PvP, I used to get the shit beat out of me when I was, because when I first started playing, I was ice. I was ice DPS. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just going in there just thinking, oh, we got to do this. So I was just doing it, getting mollywopped until I started learning the game, getting experience for one, and then for two, learning how people fought. And 3, also getting gear so I could get stronger and actually compete, which I think was one of the reasons why DCUO made the blue system. I think the blue system was made so that the weaker guys have a fighting chance instead of them just getting completely annihilated and then losing interest in the game and then saying, fuck this game, I'm out. I think that's why the blue system was made. But then the veterans kind of caught on to the blue system, so then they started getting good, and then it kind of came who could get a blue first. Because if you get the blue, you know, you're not going to take damage for a significant amount of time. And for that, you can beat a person. You could damn near one-shot a person, to be perfectly honest. So that's just what it was. DCUO tends to change their mechanics every now and then. Now PvP, to me, it just feels like power spam. Like it just feels like power spam to me. Just people just spamming powers nonstop, and that's just what it is. So I don't have a care in the world for PvP. It doesn't interest me. Just like elite content, it doesn't interest me no more. Like I don't feel the need to want to be excited for it, because it's like you guys don't even make it fun anymore. It's like you guys just go in there, and if somebody messes up or whatever, you guys just jumping on them. Oh, you're stupid, or you're dumb, you don't know how to play the game, you suck, and blah blah blah, and become super toxic for no fucking reason. And I think people just like, you know what, I'm not even gonna deal with this shit. Like, fuck this game and fuck the people on this game, because they don't know how to talk to people. And I don't think this is just something DC Universe was. I just think this is just something in general. A lot of people don't know how to talk to each other. Instead of them trying to give advice like, look, maybe we should try it this way, maybe we should try it that way. Instead, they start name calling you stupid, calling you dumb, retard, things like that, so on and so forth. So overall, this is my video. Let me know what are your guys' thoughts about this. How do you feel about this? I do think veterans of DCUO could help out and be a lot more useful to help the new players, because let's say somebody you know used to play the game, but then they stopped. That new player might be eager to learn something, and they could probably learn something, and then suddenly you have a lot of strong people, or at least decent people, that may know the mechanics and know what to do, so it makes it that much easier. So I mean, there's been times even I've gone into raids. It could be an easy raid to the point where I'm super powerful, but I can't beat it alone. So you gotta work with the team or what you have. There's been times I've been in old raids and I'm only strong one, or somebody else may be the strong one. I may be like on a weaker character, but if I explain the mechanics to people and they understand it, and they're saying, okay, guys, this is what we need to do, you can get it done. Like, I think DCUO now, they just want you to be a fucking team. And I know that shit sounds corny and it sounds super cheesy, but I think when people go into the raids and they communicate, it makes the community a lot better. It makes players want to be eager to learn the mechanics of the game, instead of them just going in there with their fucking dual pistols, which is one of the reasons I hate that fucking weapon, going in there trying to melee bosses in raids and getting one-shotted. There's been plenty of times I'm sitting there running Throne, or I'm running whatever, and these guys are literally trying to melee them with dual pistols, tapping triangle like they're fucking doing something. And I'm just looking like, for real? So I think if you are willing to teach somebody and be respectful, and say, look, okay, maybe you should try your loadout like this. Maybe you should try your rotation like this. Now, I know some people may say, oh, well, that's what YouTube is for and things like that. But there are some people that make YouTube video loadout. They make YouTube loadout videos. And I just look at it and I'm like, this loadout makes absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever. Like, what the fuck is this person doing? Like, this person is completely giving misinformation and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So instead of me going on the video, cursing them out, I'm like, well, maybe you should mess with your loadout a little bit more, because this stuff here is not making any sense and you're doing everything wrong. So try to... Or maybe you should try it this way. Maybe you should try to put your power rotation in this specific way and see how you like it, and see if you're doing more damage with this and that. Like, people don't do that. People don't compare stuff. People don't sit there and take the time to do it, which is one of the reasons, especially during my trolling days, I was very, very happy that guys like Best Control NA would do like hour-long videos. And I'm even kind of happy that Obsidian Shield does like hour-long videos to sit there and for damn near detail explain what the fuck is going on, rather than just throwing up a loadout, saying nothing about it, and then just saying it's the most OP loadout. That's why I like when people test. That's why I like players that test their loadout. They do their loadout, or they test out augments or That was the name, Augments. I don't know why it just suddenly came to my mind. They test out artifacts, whether they are a might DPS or precision DPS, or they want a battle tank or battle troll or battle heal, whatever. People test things out and see how the community likes it, and it's either you're gonna like it or you don't, and it is what it is. But overall, I've been talking long enough. I've been talking for like 25 minutes, and I usually don't like talking this long. But overall, there could be a couple of other things I could mention, but this video's gone on long enough. So without further ado, I'm gonna actually end the video this time. So let me know what are your thoughts about this. How do you feel about this? Write it down in the comment section down below, and yeah, stay tuned.